Alright, we're here. We are actually here. I am so sorry. I have been running late all day for everything. But it's starting. That is bright as shit. Let's see. You want no. Graphics maybe? I just skip past the brightness? I don't see how that would make any sense. Yeah, it doesn't. Accessibility? Where is the brightness? Damn, I got bits already. Fucking from Evan. I never know how to say your name correctly on here. But I know it's Evan. The bit that says sex, amazing. Alright, Gamma, I'm stupid. Crank that down a little bit, so it's not flash banging us all the time. We'll just pick up from where we left off. The sound is more prominent in one side of my headphones than it is over the other. I'm the Watcher. Report to the Ambassador. Hang on. I have to remember to do all of the things. What is that? That's not... well, that sort of is that. Does Kai have something to talk about? Is that what that is?
Between tensions in the city and threats outside, the militia's in over their heads.
Cool. I'm glad that you told me that, Kai.
Give me a second. Come and get me!
I'm not sure how I feel about the ranged aspect of this game. I thought it would be cool, and maybe it does become cool, but early on it does not.
Don't get too used. Dawnshore is most people's first view of the living lands and last brush with civilization.
Okay, but like, why does it highlight you, Kai? What does it want from me? I don't know. Here's what I do know, though. We're not gonna do ranged stuff. Yes. Respect everything. So let's see. Let's unlock charge, unlock the rest of the skills. Well, let's also unlock parry, because that's huge. Um... Decreases the stamina penalty. Hang on, there's there's a critical hit skill somewhere. Nah, we're alright. We're alright. Let's see. Did I still keep the, Damn, I'm carrying nothing but all the wrong weapons here. Alright, it's fine. It's fine. I just need a crystal. Oh. No, we gotta leave. We gotta leave, Kai. I'm sorry. We can't fight this. There's so many enemies that are just double skulled up when I see them. They're terrifying. I wish I knew where I am allowed to run. That's probably the big thing. But let's go to our stash and get our weapons back out. Let's see. Enchanting, workshop, party stash. Perfect. When did I get these things? Wait, hang on. Okay, it's one of the pre-order armors. We aren't going to use those. That's cheating. Why does it just classify it as clothing? Are these not... It's not like types of armor? Really, it's just the chest armor that matters, eh? Okay, sorry. Let's see. Sorry. Just getting a lot of things figured out. So let's see. How you finding the game? Hearing very mixed reviews about it. It is... what's the right word for it? It feels slow. I guess you could say. Like, early on, it feels kind of slow. And maybe you'll get a chance to see what I mean here in a second. Yeah, like, I'm sure it'll get, I guess, more reasonably paced with time. But, right now, it kind of feels like you're just slogging. You're slogging through all of it. But again, maybe that's just because it's early on.
I'm sure you had your own reasons, but I'm glad you helped those two fugitives get to Thirdborn. A lot of people
Oh,
in
I
your
see what you're
position
saying.
would have left them high and dry.
I only had one bug.
Turn them in.
That was when I created my character the other day. When I was like 10 minutes in character creation, it crashed, and that's when I was like, well, let's get out of here so we aren't. The whole stream isn't being stuck in the character creator. I haven't had any bugs since starting the actual game though, but no, slow as in like, slow as in combat feels like it takes longer than it probably could or should. And again, I'll show you what I mean.
Yeah. I'm just glad. And even...
Right? Like, I've already had this conversation with Kai.
I can't wait to find out.
I don't think I care what he has to say.
I'll be here if you need me.
But like, I'll describe it before we get there. But when I say it's slow, I mean like they really force you to use I wouldn't say every single ability, but it helps. Yeah, one bug is actually good for a game nowadays. Yeah, no, like I won't go over there because that direction is there's a bunch of enemies that I can't fight right now. But like the game forces you to use your abilities, which would be fine, but like it feels like it's almost the only way you can resolve fights within a timely manner. At least right now. Like, those abilities at the bottom of my screen, I'm gonna hit 1, 2, and 3 as often as possible, which, again, obviously you should be considering that, but it feels like it's the only way to do it right now. Otherwise, you're standing there just trading back and forth with a guy for a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, 2 of those abilities are from my AI companion, and I feel like I have to have him here right now. It makes it feel that way. But I'm also on hard, so maybe the difficulty factor plays in here too. Maybe that's just because of the difficulty.
Gosh, that's... Wow, it's really you! I mean, we all heard the Emperor sent a godlike, but I didn't never think I'd get to meet you. You are the envoy, aren't you? I bow, but I think I dislocated my shoulder, and I might have broken some ribs.
Yeah. Now, I do like that Obsidian keeps to their multiple dialogue choice option, like everything can be a dialogue choice. That's always
Yes,
great to have.
My brother, Cadman, and I ran into
It's
some
just,
trouble exploring a temple north of the city. Bears and
My one minor
traps.
gripe seems to be the
Gods.
combat right now.
What else?
But again, it's very early.
Floor
I've only
collapsed
played the
from
game
under
for like
us.
3 hours.
He couldn't walk too well, and yet our captain wanted to keep going, so he sent me back for help. We're with a team from the Free Expedition Corps. We've seen a lot. No place like this. I fear for their lives, Envoy. Gods, do you mean it? I can't
Oh,
thank
for
you
sure,
enough.
very Fallout-ish.
We
But
descended
that's
into the
Obsidian,
temple
right? That's
through
the kind of
a route
games
off
they
the
make, and that's great.
Pilgrim's Path.
Because they're
Just north of
arguably the
city.
best at them most of the
You'll
time.
know you're headed the right way when you see trail markers and rock stacks the pilgrims left behind. We posted a guard out front, Sedgwin. Let her know I sent you, and she'll let you pass. Especially my brother, Cadman. Don't forget him. You'll probably find the expedition with the relic we were searching for. Whatever that is. Thank you for hearing me out, Envoy.
Yeah, let's actually go track that, because that sounds like I get to fight something. I held tab. We're tracking the other quest. Motherfuckers. Alright, bounties. Let's actually go do that instead. Kill Nasib. Alright, so he's here, but not here. Oh, I see. A good strong recommendation, and it's probably the most generic answer I'll probably give you. Fallout New Vegas is always a good first choice from Obsidian. But if you want something that's like an Obsidian original, Outer Worlds is also a good choice too. How do I get to them? Ugh. Well, I know I'm on the other side of where I just was. But how do I get to... Oh, I go over here. It was this thing from earlier. Or from the other day. People are only on the fence with it because a lot of people like to take the stance that because it's not made by Bethesda, it's not a real Fallout, and even Bethesda has said that before at previous points where they're just like, fuck you guys, to Obsidian. But
Ready?
fucking yes! Blow it up! What are you doing? Alright, we're gonna fight spiders? No, but Fallout, not 76, Fallout New Vegas is a great game.
Show me what you got.
No, we don't talk about 76. Don't get me wrong, I played a shit ton of 76, but I can understand why you wouldn't want to talk about it, right? I find it hard to stand behind a game that only becomes fun after like 40 hours, right? Because then at that point, it's not just about the game being fun, it's the fact that you committed to it, and that's why you perceive it as fun. Alright, well, swapping to straight melee and using the hammer feels very good.
Stand back.
There's a hurricane coming through.
Aye, aye.
Is this doing anything for me, or am I just doing this for shits and giggles? Is there a way down there? Because they're right there. There's gotta be a way, right? Hang on. So apparently charge can make you go through walls. And this looks like there'd be something right there. So let's clear all this spiderweb stuff out.
Coming in hot.
So I'm playing on PC, but I am playing through Game Pass.
Here it comes. Stand back.
Okay. So can I... So if I hit one... Perfect. Doesn't do anything for me. Anyway, sorry. 76 was rushed, to be honest. Shame to taint the series, to be honest. That's fair. Again, like, it's one of those things where, like, the game can be fun, but it doesn't present itself as fun in the first opening hours of the game, and that's where you lose people for a video game. If you can't actually find the fun until hours and hours later, then, like, what are people paying for?
You take it. What's the target?
Alright, this feels so much better. Ruinous Cavern. I will say though too, exactly. Fallout 4 started strong. That's how you keep people playing. Absolutely. And that's a very important thing. Like, yeah, the game may become, I don't know if tedious is the word, but like less engaging at later points, and that's fine, right? Especially for a big RPG. I'd imagine it's super hard to keep up the same kind of consistency for an entire, like, 40-hour adventure. I could understand. But, like, if your opening hours aren't that kind of engagement, then people don't care if it gets engaging later. They're not gonna make it that far. Oh, and Pickle's here. What's up, Pickle? But yeah, like, totally, like, that's a reasonable take, for sure.
This one's mine.
What was I gonna say? This game as well, I've noticed for the couple hours I have played, they've really done a lot to reduce cells, as in, like, smaller, different play areas. Like, yeah, I just went through a cave for a loading screen, but the overall world doesn't have any loading screens for different parts of it. A lot of the houses are just doors that you open and walk in. It's not a loading screen. Lurking while I play. I assume you're playing Borderlands, Pickle? But yeah, like, Obsidian seems to have thought out how to reduce the amount of loading screens by doing that. By the overall world is its own thing, and then there are, like, separate cells that are sprinkled in. It's not like every time you enter a house there's a loading screen. Unlike Starfield, exactly. Where there's a bajillion loading screens and, like, animations that take 10 seconds for sitting down, standing up, opening your map, traveling to a different star system, traveling to a different planet, landing on the planet, getting out of your ship. It's, yeah. It's a thing. And you know what? I wanted to like Starfield. I did, but it's so hard to like the game. Like, I like what's in it, but, again, it doesn't keep you engaged. At all. Not really, anyway. Again, the game has, like, cool mechanics and, like, things that you can do. But god, does it feel so not great to do them.
Here it comes.
That has to be Bethesda's most disappointing game for me. Understandable. Completely understandable. Right? Because, like, they even made the game. It's not like Fallout 76 that was handed off to a different group of people. Like, they made it, and they said, yup, this is the game.
Quiet as the danger.
And yeah, but hey, at least we're eventually gonna get Elder Scrolls. Although I hate that Bethesda put out that trailer years ago, and they didn't start development until like a year and a half ago. Right. Fallout is proof of that for sure. But yeah, if you saw right there, I combined a variety of skills to get the work done, which is fine. But if it feels like the only way to do it, that's when you start to have problems.
Hey! Over here!
Oh, is that Nasib?
You okay?
No, I'm not. Poison is beating my ass over here, dude.
Still recovering. I need a minute. Let's see what you got.
Damn. Alright, see, the combo moves are cool. I assume there's best startup builds for characters like Elden Ring. So like, when you make your character, you get to choose their background, and that determines their starting weapon and stuff like that. You can kind of guess. I chose War Hero because that seemed the most melee-oriented. And they give you a spear and a shield shortly after. But like, there's like a diplomat, which may or may not be like a jack of all trades. There was one that was very clearly a wizard, and then there was like a scout, which was archery. If I had to guess, at least early game, I don't think like traditional ranged combat is the way. I would argue that maybe magic is probably better in the beginning and the end as well. But ranged is something that probably becomes better as you go along, and I'll show you. I'll show you the skill tree. So like this is where you'd go for your range stuff, right? But there's also a lot of melee-oriented skills in here as well, right? And like some of the better skills that are ranged-oriented aren't until way later in the game, right? Like the one that actually matters for fucking stealth killing, gotta be level 15 to use it, right? Like yeah, you could still technically do it, but like you don't get any bonuses for it till way later in the game. And like ranged combat is fairly decent. Like it feels decent. It just feels underwhelming. And that's probably the problem here as well. Is well that. So like I don't think starting as ranged is actually super fun at first. I mean, maybe it is if ranged is your go-to play style. Right? Like, if you are just a fiend for ranged combat, then it doesn't matter, right? You're still gonna like it. But, like, I'm looking for effectiveness. And by looking at this tree, it doesn't feel effective until level 15. When you can start doing these, like, extra things, like just sniper for unaware attack damage increases. And the fact that you're gonna increase your crit chance by large increments and stuff like that, where this stuff matters because you can guarantee crits with ranged weapons by shooting the weak spot. Right? Like, stuff like that. And, like, it seems like ranged is underwhelming early on. And then you check out the wizard tree, and it's like, look at this shit! And then the spellbook changes to what you do as well. Right? Like, it just changes what you do. And, like, this shit looks complex as shit. This looks like it's a different game when you want to be a wizard. And yeah, like, this is something I'm gonna look at later. Right? Obviously, I'm doing a melee, but I can respec whenever I want. Right? So, like, when we get far enough, maybe I do straight wizard. Or maybe I multi-class into both these things. Or maybe I do straight ranged at the end. Who knows? But, like, this doesn't feel great looking at it from the start. There are skills here that are good for a melee character. At least in my eyes, right? Like, and, like, even, like, some of the earlier, like, other skills, like survivalist and evasive. Like, yeah, those matter to a ranged character. But they also matter to every other character type, too. This is, like, a general usage skill stuff right here for these two. Even this one, the fucking Tanglefoot. Yeah, it says Ranger ability, and yeah, that's fair. It's to keep people away from you. But you're going to use that for every class type anyway. Like, if you wanted to, you could use this on every class type. But it doesn't make it a range-specific build type. Like, this is valuable to everybody. So, like, a lot of these earlier skills are just general use things. Right? So yeah, if you are looking to play the game, I personally would say I don't think ranged is a good way to start. Unless you are a fiend for it. But switching to melee, like back to it, honestly, it feels super great. Melee combat actually feels good when you get some of those skills. Right, like pick up parry from the ranger skill tree, because if you're just doing regular blocks and stuff, it just feels like rock paper scissors. It doesn't feel like you're getting anywhere. But yeah, like don't get me wrong. If you still want to play ranged, right? If ranged is your thing. But I've always been about effectiveness in games. It's always about finding what really does work. I find that if you feel yourself taking 10 minutes to kill one dude, then are you really having fun with the type of playstyle you want to have? Or is it more fun to find a way to be able to clear your encounters fast and progress the game at the rate that you want to progress at? Obviously, the main premise is fun still, but I don't think you can have fun fighting a batch of spiders for 10 minutes straight. I don't think that's very fun. Especially for an RPG. Oh. Also, I don't know if it's telling you guys when ad breaks happen, but another one is coming up in a minute. I hope it tells you on stream as well. Oh, yeah, I am. Thank you. I actually got affiliate yesterday. And like, yeah, this is like the first stream after being affiliate. What was I gonna say? You're new to the stream today, cause you know, fucking chat obviously told me. Were you just like, are you in one of the discords I'm in, or did you just happen to find me? Oh, the ad break is happening.
Right behind you. Hard enough. It won't hold up. Come and get me! So next one's mine.
Oh, I see. Fair enough. Are there any other games that you are ever interested in seeing? I'm curious. Cause I don't play like just RPGs. I dabble a fair bit. I played Ninja Gaiden recently. I played through a normal and Mentor. I tried to do Master Ninja. I'm not good enough at the game for that right now. Something to come back to later. But like Devil May Cry, Ghost of Tsushima, God of War. I play a lot of different games. Obviously, a lot of them are action oriented. But yeah. God, Octave is gonna take a minute. I should probably get rid of his friends. No.
Thanks.
Coming for you.
Damn. That knocked me so far back. That's okay. I have a second wind. We're good. Okay, I gotta figure out how to separate them. Okay. So we're not coming to this guy. Gaming is generally boring. Like a personal play perspective. Oh, I find that it depends, right? I find that the more you play games, the more refined your view is on them. And when I say that, I mean like, so like a game can be fun for what it was at the time. Take a good example is the original Resident Evil 4, right? Like my lights are fucking up. I don't know why. Anyway, the original Resident Evil 4, right? Like that game was so much fun for its time, right? But if you go back and play it now after playing some of the more recent titles, I think more than likely you would just be like, what the fuck is this? What am I even playing? Right? Because I tried to play Resident Evil 4, the original, before the remake came out. And because I'd played 2 and 3 before that, right? And don't get me wrong, 3 is a little bit of a controversial topic to talk about. But like playing original 4, I'm gonna go fix these in a second. But playing the original 4 is awful now, right? Right, no, that's what I'm saying, is like, even though I just described it as awful, it's not that you hate them, it's just like they've evolved past a point, right? And like, old things don't feel the same anymore, and new things don't feel quite the same as old things. But that's just because your view is being altered by newer experiences, and you find it hard, and you may find it hard to like old things because they feel outdated in comparison to the new, and new don't feel the same because they didn't give you the same feeling that the old ones did, right? It's very complicated like that. Doesn't necessarily mean that like you don't dislike games. I just think that maybe your view is altered because maybe you've had so much time with games that what you want personally may not line up with what's being made, and that's fine. That's called an opinion. You're allowed to have those. But like at the same time, it's always good to be able to appreciate a game for what it's trying to do and what it does, and then also contrast that with the fact that is it doing enough for for its time, right?
Yeah.
So that's the other aspect. You're allowed to be a harsh critic for something that you like or that you don't like, right? Like, I still think this game's gonna be very slow for a while. And like, some people like a slow burn RPG. I don't mind it to a certain extent. I do have patience, but I don't know if I have enough patience, you know? And slow burns, again, can be fine, but like, they can also be very draining. But that depends on your experience, and how you play, and pretty much how you interact with the game. Yeah. It's a very lengthy topic to talk
Pleasure,
about.
envoy.
It's all about
I'm
perspective
Aldrich,
and perception.
the bounty master of Paradise. If it suits your fancy, check the board for work. The dangerous kind. Some more than others. Speak to me when you've got something to turn in. Show it here. I don't envy you having gone into that horrid place, but I'm thankful you did so. Be safe out there, you hear?
No signs of a struggle. Looks like there's adventure to me.
About gaming overall? No, again, fair. And yeah, no, it's reasonable to to not really critique a game you haven't properly given a chance. But that's also why I'm still playing Avowed, right? Despite how I initially feel about it, I have to give it a full, proper chance before I can say whether or not the game is worth it. And who knows? I mean, what is your general genre of choice? If you don't mind me asking. That guy barely took any damage.
Right flank.
I don't even know if I go and fight this.
Give me a target. What am I hitting? Make sure it's still recovering. You take me. Let's see what you got.
I held the button. Oh, I gotta dodge that shit.
Watch the left. Find a better weapon. I'll find you better armor. Come and get me!
Why are these archers so tanky, dude? I see. So generally story-driven, character, related games are your choice. Okay, no, that's fine. Like, I played so much Red Dead Redemption. Like, I played it for myself a few months ago on PC because I went and bought it, and I was like, I really want to play Red Dead Redemption 2 again. And I get it. A good story can more often than not mean so much more to you than PvP or what is it? Dark Souls action, I guess, because a lot of people really like to say that Dark Souls is like the best type of action game. I'm dead again.
You're a good friend.
What game is that again? The summer. Is that the one that? No. Which game are we talking about? It was. But like, what game are you talking about? The one that's coming out in the summer?
Yeah, so close. Oh, you are a special one, you are. I thought all the godlikes were taken back, wherever they came from. Don't mean a thing by it. I'm glad to see not all the gods have abandoned us.
Are you drunk?
No, of course
Mind's
I'm not
eye.
drunk. I'm an alchemist.
Okay.
You should know.
That'll have
this
to be
place
something I
is
check
very
out,
quickly into a
before I go to
swamp of
work.
Madness. Even the plants and the animals feel it. Something is happening here. The plants and the animals are changing. No one knows why, or exactly what's doing it. Sapiento di Falva, alchemist and dreamer, at your service. My latest experiment was meant to solve the scourge that has come over the local flora and the fauna, but it wasn't meant to be. I expected my main reagent to be delivered today, but I suppose the gods had other ideas.
This man's accent. He said flora and fauna. I'm not gonna recreate it because I would do it, I think, worse. Do I know what your main reagent is?
Oh, just a bit of luminous adra.
Fingers crossed
Rather
it pays off. I'll have to check it out.
but, nothing against
Ex
the law.
Rockstar dev is
You may have
involved in it.
noticed,
Okay.
or perhaps not, since no doubt you've been busy, that wildlife here has gone a bit wrong. No one knows how best to describe it, but we can all see it. Something is distorting the life around here, and I hoped to stop it. As you no doubt know, luminous Adra is a more powerful form of the Adra we see out there from time to time. Very, very rare. The gentlemen who are supposed to acquire my Adra have not delivered it, and they seem to be avoiding me, as if they fear my wrath. At this point, I'll take any help I can get. My friends must have lied, or they got the Adra and they lost it.
I don't know. I don't know if
can't
this guy
imagine why
feels
else
as
they
bad
would
as an
be acting
Oblivion
so strange about
NPC.
it.
I just think his
The people of the
accent's
Deathfire have been refining
strong.
luminous Adra for its health benefits for gods know how long. If anything can cure this affliction, that's it.
We find your friends, we find the Atra.
Best of luck with that. I saw them briefly not too long ago, looking shifty and desperate. They were running around the paradise, talking to other scholars in the area. Ganef and Remio, I believe. And an older lady. Don't recall her name. I'd be very grateful. I know it looks like I'm crying, but it's from the acrid fumes I inhaled earlier. Any luminous Adra will do, he said, as if the stuff were falling from the sky.
Alright then. Speak to the locals. Well, hang on. I should probably go level up a little bit more, because I realize I'm chasing a quest that is a 3-star. Find the Adiran expedition team. How far is that? Okay, well, I was already over there, so back we go, I guess. I heard IGN gave this game a 10 out of 10. I don't think that's, I don't think that one's real. The map is actually quite huge, because, like, this isn't even the whole area. Right? You go to... Yeah, the Living Lands, right? This is it. Like, I'm over here. But, like, there's all these other different... These are most likely to be different cells. But, like, I'm only here. And no, I'm pretty sure IGN gave this game a 7. I'm pretty sure they did.
Sometimes we get more contraband.
An interesting day so far.
And,
Interesting
yeah.
gameplay.
7 is... Don't get me wrong, people get tired of seeing the IGN reviews that say 7 out of 10. But, like, if a game is good, but not... Well, sorry, if it's good, possibly great, but not super great, then 7 makes sense. It's when you start getting above 7 when you can start rating a game for something that it does that is unique to itself. Or can I purchase transportation? I can fast travel, but I have to have already been there. These purple crystals and stuff, I can travel to them, but I have to have already been to where a crystal is. Like, I can go to that camp that I have there and just go there. Which is what I'm going to do, actually. But, yeah, no, you can't purchase transportation. As far as I know. A lot of it seems to be just unlocking these crystals to fast travel.
The wood echoes, strangled.
This is a new one.
We knew this creature. The Adra hums beneath the moon. the bare, the rot in the heart. Did its beauty sing to you? Wilt then grow again.
Very Zelda-like then. Yeah. Just no summoning owls. No playing the ocarina to travel to key locations. No climbing towers to turn them on.
For both.
Sadly, it doesn't work that way.
Must all we love turn to ash? Can we not save it? Mercy like a knife. It hunts all of us. God, mortal, beauty. Sleep now. We ponder.
All right. Yeah. So far, this game hasn't done anything that feels unique to itself. I quite like the puzzle element to Zelda Breath of the Wild. I own Tears of the Kingdom too, but haven't yet played it. Both are great games. But at the same time, to further this conversation, Tears of the Kingdom doesn't really do a whole lot different from Breath of the Wild. I don't say that as discouragement, but like it doesn't separate itself enough, right? And that's it's not an issue because the game's great. But like yeah, it's just one of those things where like they kind of just did the same thing again. The Switch 2 should be an interesting console when it launches. Just a shame about the LCD screens. Absolutely. But like Nintendo's never been great on the hardware aspect. They've always been about what can you do with the console. Okay, finishing the bear. Right.
What for you? We make a good squad.
Yeah,
This looks
no,
like
no,
the path
Nintendo
Prophet told us
excels
about.
at their game presentation, not so much their consoles. It's always been that way. I mean, obviously you still have unique cases, right? Like Breath of the Wild really had like a really crazy physics system going on that people can manipulate and still are figuring things out to this day. But like more often than not, it's just like unique gameplay experiences, but with a lack of console strength. Right. But like, what is it? The Steam Deck.
If you traveled weeks to see him, you can wait.
The Steam Deck is more or less just. I shouldn't say more or less. I'm not trying to devalue it. The Steam Deck's great. But it really is the handheld that everybody wanted from handheld consoles. Well, yeah, well, hang on, the games that get ported to it, that's different. But like the games that are made for Switch, again, like, don't get me wrong when I say it. Obviously, Nintendo doesn't focus on graphics, which is fine. You don't have to have a realistic looking game, right? Like, the games are great. The games are fantastic. I've played every Switch-oriented game that has come out since the Switch launched, right? I've played Metroid, both Zeldas, Mario Odyssey, etc. But, like, their ability to have those higher quality graphics is what makes people look at it with a skewed eye. Not saying me personally, obviously. Because again, I own a Switch, I play the games. But like, a lot of people have the thought in their head too that like, graphics matter, and to a point they're right. Because it's a representation of quality. And people obviously want better quality from the things that they like. But quality is not necessarily tied to how a game visually looks. Sometimes quality can also be tied to how the game is played. But I think people overshadow that with the visual aspect. Where they just have to determine that a game is great by its visual representation. Like, if I were to judge this game solely by how this environment looks, I would say this game is great.
That spear looks endearing, alright.
But like,
We're on the right track.
playing it doesn't feel any different from other RPGs I've played in recent times. Right? Like, and again, it doesn't undercut it in any way, but it doesn't set it apart either. It doesn't make it go like,
someone gave up on this one.
oh, my favorite game of this year was Avowed. I would just be like, oh yeah, that game that kind of felt like every other RPG I've played in the last little bit. You know, that's what this game kind of does. Again, it doesn't make it less, but it doesn't make it different either. It doesn't make it a unique experience. Nah, for dock mode, it should be higher than 1080p, minimum 1440, even if graphics aren't even brilliant. Well, so hang on. In docked mode, we're talking about the Switch, right? What even changes when it's in docked mode?
Maybe Offric squad.
I've always played it in handheld, that's why I'm asking. Or does it stay at its same resolution?
Look at that. That statue. How did anyone build that all the way down here?
Rituals, whispers of searing light.
Zarms. What a snake will fight. Settle, you guys! Who's ready for more?
Possibly me.
Quiet as the
So in handheld, you are locked at 720p. In dock mode, the highest you go is 1080p. That's locked around 30. Oh. I see. I could see then why you'd feel that way about it. So you're suggesting that the Switch itself can run at a higher resolution? Still locks at 1080p? Yeah, well that's based on the console then, right? That's not necessarily... Like, that's based on restrictions put in the console. Or, like, the hardware itself doesn't actually run higher than that. Letter to Carlod. So some of the letters that I've read in this game, I don't know if it's my disposition to the fact that, like, this doesn't feel any different from other RPGs, per se. But I find it hard to be engaged with a lot of these letters so far. Because, like, I don't know, it doesn't feel like you're following a story. Like, it feels like they're trying to show that to you, but you don't feel engaged by it. See, yeah, you need to overclock it, which I guess damages the parts over time. Fair enough. Fair enough. Makes sense. Have to overclock it, eh? Well, that is Nintendo just building a console with set standards, right? They're not really, again, they're not trying to push graphical boundaries. Or even boundaries on power, in a lot of ways. I guess the closest they came was when they made Tears of the Kingdom, because sometimes that game would skip in certain high active moments. Anyway, let's read this letter. I can find no more use to put my talents in our pitiless land, so I must go. The water freezes, I create art from it. The water melts, my art dissolves. The water freezes again. This cycle once brought me peace. I'm not going to bother reading because there's an ad happening. Huh.
Hold it together, kid. We're nearly there.
You're not my brother. I got to be dreaming. Oh gods, am I dead? Is this the Beyond Spirit? Have you come to take me to Gallowayne's side?
The kid's in bad shape, but he's not too far gone. I think we can help him.
I'm not ready. I've never even touched a girl. It's not fair. Oh, God.
Oh, I should use Dream Heal.
Are you sure you're not trying to kill me?
That's just the medicine working. And look, you're halfway to lucid, and your wounds are closing up.
Oh, wow. I feel leagues better. I thought for sure you were coming
Okay,
to take
anyway.
me back to the wheel.
But they mentioned that the Switch 2 is aiming to run games like
you doing down
GTA,
here?
so they may have learned from their previous stuff. Like, the new GTA or, like, GTA 5? Right. Because I don't know what they've said, personally, about any of it. If they just mean, like... If they just mean GTA 5, then... Ugh. I mean, it's easier. But if they meant GTA 6, double ugh. Because I don't think that's gonna happen. But, like, if it does happen, and it can run it well... What did they put in this tiny little fucking handheld? Is in the pipeline? There is no way! I don't believe that. I think they're just fucking saying that. The game... I don't believe that. Ironically, just got a Nintendo ad. They're onto me. I'll buy the Switch 2 regardless. Will be good to experience the next gen in the series. Nah, GTA 5 runs easy, but GTA 5 game out on Xbox 360. I get that. But, like, it's a big open world action game where a lot happens on and off the screen.
Free Expedition Corps out of High Crown. Yeah, that's us.
I just don't know how
Well,
it would
that's
stack
me
up,
anyway.
considering other
The rest of
games
those
that
assholes
came out
went on
around that
without me
time.
after I got hurt.
It was a 12 gigabyte
We'll
game on
come
Xbox
back for you
360.
once we've got the
I mean, if they
relic
ported the
cabinet
Xbox version, I
honest.
guess that would make sense.
Oh shit. Yeda was probably hoping I'd croak so she wouldn't have to tell our freak how she abandoned me. All she cares about is that Oracle and his relic, which is probably just a big old dog bone
But
if you
like,
ask me.
I guess that's fair actually. If they port the original version, it's
still
probably way
down
easier
there,
than the
fiddling
newer
with the
versions.
statue. You must have seen it on your way in.
But I have a hard time believing
He'll be
that
the last
GTA
one to
6
have
would
seen
run on
him,
the
I bet.
Switch, too.
I'll just
I
rest
don't
up here a
believe
minute
that it would be
before I
that
head
much of
back
a
to
leap.
Paradise.
Take it easy. No sense getting yourself into another scrape.
Promise, I'll take it slow. Hey, Envoy, for what it's worth, I really thought I was gonna die down here. It's a lucky thing you found me then. Right, yeah. You got those assholes to save and everything. I hope they're better off than I was.
Speak
Seems like
the
a
Oracle.
good kid. Glad we could give it.
Hang on, I have to do a thing. Character. Yes. Alright, let's see. So we got... I don't have brain.
Maybe one of Juliana's girls will too.
Breathe. Alright. Alright, it could be done. Just would be very similar to the games we have now on the current Switch. Locked in at 30 FPS and locked into an HD resolution. I see.
Here we go.
So doesn't that suggest, like, doable but in a minimal sense? Isn't that what that would mean?
Didn't realize the head of the steel garrote was into antiques.
God, I am so tired. Wow, I flipped him right into those fucking stalactites. Oh, I see. I see. Sorry, I forgot. I forgot that for some reason that this still comes back to Nintendo. Those cloud server games? We did. We did. That was
See someone. Be ready for it.
Mind you, during COVID, all I did was play Animal Crossing.
My brother, can it be?
So, like, I didn't really dabble a whole lot more past that.
Let me look at you.
Just got back. Just been playing
has been
Avowed
too long.
for a little bit, Night Sisters.
I had
Playing a little bit
feared
more
I was
of
the
it.
last of us, but you,
This man's made of
oh,
gold.
the very sight of you is a balm for the soul.
I imagine the sight of you
I
blinds
am
people.
the Oracle Sargamus, servant of the once shining god, he whose light has lately dimmed.
Are you sure all the light didn't go into you?
What brings you to this sacred space? An expedition? I'm afraid I don't understand.
An expedition? You know, treasure maps, matching outfits,
Understandable.
campfire songs, the works.
I am familiar with the concept, tomb raiding and the like. What troubles me is why they would come here. These ruins are not so different
I'll
from
let
the
him
many
stop
others
talking.
on this island, except that they are a good deal more treacherous. And this representation of Aethys we stand before, it is the work of my own hands. They could not hope to move it.
Oh. Hey, Pixie. What's
Do
up?
you know what their purpose is here?
Anyway, Night Sisters. I'm giving Avowed a little bit more time. Because I feel like 3 hours wasn't enough to judge the game for what it
The
probably could be.
splinter of Aethys. I suppose
And it's
it was
getting
too
better,
much to hope they
right?
were
It's
here
becoming
to
more fun,
examine these
less of a
exquisite
slog.
ruins. Truly, it is their loss.
Yeah. I don't think ranged combat was the way to start the game, though. The algorithm doing its thing? For sure. Absolutely. Where do you keep the relic? I might find them there.
It rests in a shrine deep within this temple complex, beyond the reach of looters, visitors, or indeed myself. The path to the relic has fallen to ruin.
By this logic, Nintendo's trying to
Some
sell me on
sections are
Donkey Kong,
flooded,
though.
And others are infested with all manner of creatures. Although, perhaps you might assist me with that.
If you're about to ask us to tidy up, think again. My place is a much bigger mess.
Oh no. I had something far grander in mind. You see,
Yeah, the amount of ads I've seen for
beside
Donkey
us
Kong
is
Country
no mere
Returns,
statue,
Tropical Freeze,
but a reliquary
a
I
lot.
have built to house the splinter of Aethys in its appropriate grandeur.
Wait, is it Tropical Freeze or is Donkey Kong
It is
Country
nearly
Returns?
complete and ready for the
Because
splinter
one was on the
to be
one was on the
interred.
3DS.
But I can no longer reach the relic.
One was on the Wii U.
Return it to me, and who knows? Perhaps you will meet your expedition along the way.
I'll return shortly.
I am
That sounded
most
sinister,
grateful.
by the way. Your last line
and
sounds
please
like that was
refrain
sinister.
from
It sounds like
touching
I come
my
back here and I
statue
fight you.
or devices. May light illuminate your path, brother.
Also, if you were the priest of a god of the sun or light or whatever you just said, I feel like you wouldn't be in a cave. I know I'm sounding a little nitpicky there, but I feel like you wouldn't be down here. God, I'm so tired. Why am I always tired before work? And Dan is here too. I'm doing pretty good, Dan. Just playing more Avowed.
Leave those be. They protect my devices.
Oh, I bet. I bet this definitely isn't a gimmick for the boss fight I have to do. Yeah, absolutely. That's what this is going to amount to. Travel to Dawnshore. This leaves. Okay. Yeah, for sure. Like this, like you can't tell me this little spot I don't fight something here. This doesn't say boss area, sort of. Fuck off. Missing splinter of Aethys. Yeah, very Souls like, absolutely. Like, I'm gonna have to come back here, he's gonna become something, and then I gotta run around this little arena, touching all these things to do something. Fresh lumber. Nile only seems to be able to source rotten lumber, and the contemptible stuff cannot withstand the damp of this cavern. I must find someone who can fell and hew fresh trees, or my fragile generators will be at the very mercy of the Zarips. Little bastards are remarkably curious.
Careful, please.
Electricity? How is that gonna matter to me? Oh, I know why. Let me just preemptively get ready for this. For when I have to go do this. Oh, I did not mean to do that. Common Great Hammer. Swap that. Wand.
Give me a target.
Oh wait, hang on. I did this wrong! I forgot. It's a different input.
Don't get too used to the comforts of paradise.
Electric lily seed. We're just exploring. Why does that... Okay, it's just decoration. I thought it would be like a shortcut, but I guess not. History of the Living Lands. I don't care. I shouldn't say I don't care. I don't think I'm interested in learning about the history. Common scale armor, vessel bone. Skulls Hype, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. It's first time here. Just playing more Avowed. Anyway, big thing about the affiliation though, man. Just don't sell your soul. I know streaming is very saturated, but all the more reason for honesty feedback. Absolutely. I don't want to be fake about doing this, or I don't want to
This reminds me
take
of
the short route, I guess is the way to put it.
How is anything this big?
Now, obviously, I do have to work with Twitch and their egregious system a little bit, you know, with ads and all that. Which I gotta figure out how I want to do that. I think leaving it for like a minute and a half every half an hour is fine. I'll have to adjust it as time goes on because I don't know if I actually want to leave it there or if I want to make it less and so on. But like, don't get me wrong, too, streaming is something I do want to attempt to do full time. I just gotta figure out how I make that happen. But yeah, I have no intention of copping out for the sake of copping out for a quick bag, if you will. How we doing? Great, actually, Skull Type. I thought I was not gonna enjoy Avowed. I know that sounds a little skeptical, but like my first couple hours felt like I wasn't really gonna invest any more time in it after. But playing it now and making changes to how I play the game, it's actually become more fun. Solely because I chose ranged as a beginning style of play. And ranged is not very fun early game. Ads are revenue, that's fine. I mean, giving overly fake reviews. I see what you're saying. Yeah, no, I don't... Not my jam. If a game is fun initially but not fun later, I will tell you it's not worth it. If a game is fun all the way through, and I will give you various points on why that is and stuff like that. I'm not going to try and sell you on something just because of being asked to, or because, you know, money and stuff like that. I have a revive, we're good. But like, I see what you're saying. I know. I have no intention of doing that.
Ready, aim. Stand back.
But I guess to give like a live example of this game, when I finish it, the odds of me coming back are abysmal. That doesn't make it a bad game. It just means that like the one playthrough was enough for me to enjoy the game enough. Because that's why you come back to games again, is because you enjoy them so much you aren't done with them yet. Oh, these monsters look like some AI from the King Kong game on PS2. That's fair. The AI is not very intelligent. The only reason I'm struggling is because the game's on hard. Right? Like, but I understand what you're saying. The way they look and move is very generic in a lot of ways. But again, I've been saying that about this game since we started. It doesn't really do anything to separate itself, either for the environment or yourself. Like, it just feels like another run-of-the-mill like RPG in a lot of ways. There is a twinkling noise.
Dream Scorcher. I don't think it reaches all the way down here. Take your best shot.
Ow. Damn, that beetle beat my ass. And he combos.
Give me a second. You take lead. Let's see what you got. To your left.
This game is confirmed to get DLC, but I think this is definitely one of those games where like the playthrough of the main game will be enough, because you won't get, I don't think you'll get anything new or fresh out of the DLC. You'll just get more of the same. If we're gonna be real about it, you would most certainly just get the exact same thing. And you know what? I miss the days when DLC actually provided a new type of gameplay. Like, not very many games do it anymore. Surprisingly, Elden Ring is one of those games that did do it in a lot of ways. Yeah, they kept the old stuff in there from the base game, but you really had to change how you played the game. Yeah, like, but I'm not saying it's a bad game either. Like, it's okay, it's decent, it's a game you can have fun with, but you're only going to be able to play it, like, sorry. You're only going to be able to, I would say more often than not, get the one playthrough done, and then you may not go through it again right away. You may come back to it months or years later. You know?
A pulse, beating out of time.
It's not like,
should it be disturbed?
it's not like the first time I played God of War, like both God of Wars, actually. I beat them, and then I went through them again right away. Because, like, I had so much fun playing them. And I enjoyed the story, and the characters, and the combat, and everything.
For the creepy orc,
like, it was great.
Roots,
all the way through.
Kind of nice.
This game doesn't give me that vibe. Maybe that changes by the time I beat it. Yeah. Well, like, another good example besides Elden Ring was Infamous 2, the vampire DLC. It gave you a bunch of new mechanics to work with, right? Because you became a vampire conduit. And you really could play the game differently. Like, yeah, it was still very familiar, but that's the point of the game, is it feels similar, but also very different, right? And, like, that's the same concept that people should take when they do sequels for games, is bring enough familiarity, but change it enough where it's a new experience.
There's the relic. It can't be as easy as just grabbing it.
No, it's not, but let's try something. Can I touch that from here? The Batman games had that element, Arkham City specifically. Yeah, well, I mean, the way they were able to do it was they gave you different characters, right? And, like, Arkham Knight did it too, but, like, they didn't change the characters a whole lot in Arkham Knight. They actually felt more samey than anything else. But yeah, like, you're totally right. Batman Arkham City, like, Robin, different style of play, right? You really could use different mechanics, and, like, yeah, the buttons were the same type of inputs, but what can you do with a controller? But, like, yeah, like, Robin had the throw that Batman used to have in Arkham Asylum, and Nightwing had the Eskrima sticks, which allowed you to, without having to build a free flow combo, you could press left trigger and hit 3 or 4 dudes in the middle of a fight and stuff like that, right? Or, like, you could snap flash people as Robin, or you could shield bash them and send a guy flying in it during combat, right? Like, you could one-hit KO people with the shield if you hit them in the right angles and stuff, right? Because you could launch them, and it changed the game in a lot of ways. And yeah, games don't really do that anymore. Not a whole lot, anyway. And no, that's understandable. The problem that Arkham Knight had, I don't even think it was the core gameplay. The core gameplay being Batman, right? The core gameplay for Arkham Knight was the fact that the Batmobile had such a front-facing presence, but its gameplay for the tank stuff is so fucking underwhelming that, like, it takes it takes away from the game, right? Because, like, they put that shit on you every 20 minutes to go do something with the tank, and I get it because it's the new mechanic, but majority of the game was centered around it, and it arguably made the game less enjoyable in the long run.
No one said anything about tight spaces.
Because it felt like the most non-Batman thing to have was that tank. You know, I get that the circumstances called for it to be that way because fighting a militia in the city, it makes sense, but it's also very un-Batman-like. I feel like, right. But like you had to 100% the game and get rid of all the tanks to drive those Batmobiles around the city. So you still got stuck with the tank stuff. Great swords. So I may or may not be an absolute fiend for great swords. For me, I felt it was actually the story that just felt something off about it.
The false idol, it waits.
In what way? I'm not saying that you're not wrong. But like, how do you feel about the story? What was off-putting about it? Could you single that out? Because what is it? I find that the way they handled Jason Todd in Arkham Knight actually did not feel great. Like, yeah, he still became Red Hood at the end. But the way they did it doesn't feel great. Like, it's like they could have done the whole Red Hood thing. They could have done it as a side story. I feel like the Arkham Knight could have been a different villain that wasn't Jason Todd. I feel like maybe that is where I find that the story doesn't feel super great. Maybe it's the same for you. But that's where I'd put my opinion at, is the way they handled Jason Todd in that game.
I need him.
Godless Executioner. Okay, that felt great. That felt very great.
Hey! Over here!
I gotta get rid of that healer. Oh boy, it's a Suicide Squad conversation. Hang on. How did he hit me? Really, for the shield bash it don't work, eh? That's funny. Alright, hang on. Let me read that. I saw a Suicide Squad remark. I mean, look at the Suicide Squad game, such a great set of characters, yet they literally made a Gotham Knights. Yeah, 100%. Well, that has been WB's business model. Is everything is supposed to be a live service game, and I'm pretty sure they've said that. Is their focus has been live service games. Which is a dying concept now. Right? Like, it came and it went, and WB can't see that. What is it? So, was even delayed, no one's even there from Rocksteady, the DLC is just season pass stuff. Well, Sefton Hill and, God, the other person who helped him found Rocksteady. What is it? They left, like, months before the game came out. So, like, I think that's a clear designator that the game that they were making was not the game they wanted to make. Right? I imagine Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League was meant to be a very, very different game than what they put out.
Well, better a flood than a cave-in.
Right? Who is it? So there's a streamer I like. His name is Maximilian Dude. He referred to something like that as, when he was talking about multiverses, he referred to it as WB-ness. As in the sense that, like, WB is going to do what they're doing, which is make it a live service game, and I don't know if ruin it's the word. Ruin it is probably the word. But that's what they'll do. The WB-ness. They'll implement what they want to implement into the game. And, like, every game they put out for the next little bit is gonna be like that. I think even the Hogwarts Legacy 2 that they're gonna make is still gonna be that. The only reason why they're making it is because it was the last game they made that got a positive result.
I'm sick!
So whenever we get Hogwarts Legacy 2, expect it to be a live service microtransaction nightmare. Oh, for sure. I didn't buy it though, and I'm a hardcore DC fan as well. Solely because I saw that gameplay, and, like, I know we talked about giving a game a chance, but you could feel it. You could feel that oh god, there's a bot! Hang on. Be gone, demon! Anyway. Yeah, a lot of people wanted a Batman Arkham style game, and I imagine Sefton and Sefton really wanted that. But I imagine since Rocksteady games sell like crazy every single time, that WB really tried to change the vision of it, and that's why Sefton and his friend left. You know? Like, they're currently working on another game in their new company. Or their new team. I forget what it's called, though. But yeah, like... I saw that gameplay trailer of, like, Harley Quinn swinging around the giant tentacle thing and, like, just shooting the spots on the worm or whatever. And I was like, I don't want to play Destiny again. I stopped playing Destiny
Why has he come here?
because it
Why
is
does he build the idol in this
not fun. It realistically is not fun. Is it one of those things that can be fun? But you have to play for hours for it to be fun. And like that's, again, brings us back to the whole concept of a lot of games today do that, is they don't feel fun at first, or they're kind of fun,
Even the flood could not stop him.
but they don't
Fealty
pick up
or
that fun.
sickness?
I have to go find the
I don't know what
artifact.
this guy's capable of, but I've got your back.
Yeah, like it doesn't work out. It never does. Anyway, so I remember when it got announced that summer, missing gameplay, a 5-minute cinematic trailer, a 2-year delay, and stuff with that live action stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I gotta go find what Sefton and his friend are doing now. I gotta go find their dev team, and see what they're making. Because I know it'll be good.
Something's not right.
I know it will be.
Take a look.
I just know that Sefton had to get away from WB. Ow. Anyway, so even South Park did a cash grab last year with that same concept. Yeah, Snow Day, I think it was. South Park Snow Day. That was made by Ubisoft though, wasn't it? That's not helping the argument,
Well,
because Ubisoft also does that
we
too.
found
but-
the expedition. Looks like they've only been dead a few hours. But how did they get in here?
Yeah, it
can't
was a
have come
game
the
that
same way
I
we-
was curious
we
about
swam
because I had
here.
played The Stick of Truth and The
What's
Fractured
stranger
But Whole.
is
I
there's
knew it
not
wasn't
a
another game in the
scratch
series,
on them.
but I was
No
curious.
sign of what killed them. It's like every member of the expedition team just collapsed.
But I saw it and I was like, something about this game doesn't feel right. And it turns out I was right. It turns out it's not mechanically in depth. It turns out it's actually a fucking mess. It turns out there's not a whole lot going on in this game overall. Oh, you're talking about the crew. I feel like you're talking about the crew when you say that. But yeah,
You think
it's
he's, I've heard of them.
I could just tell. It was one of those things where you saw it. Yeah, Kraken Uncles, let's go
Whatever
ask
the
him.
Oracle has planned
It's
for
like one
that
of those things
relic,
you saw it,
and for us,
and you
it
could
can't be good,
feel
Envoy.
that there was something wrong when you looked at
Aethys is
it.
a dangerous god associated with Eora's bloody. Now we have a piece of him, and we're about to face a maniac who wants it desperately. Tread carefully.
Yeah. You know what's funny is that the other day, since we're on the topic of Arkham games a little bit, I streamed the entirety of Batman Arkham Asylum in a 6-hour stream. I played it on hard, I did all the Riddler stuff, went and found all the Chronicles of Arkham, everything, in 6 hours. Ubisoft have made some amazing games. God damn it. Some amazing games, though, in the past. Just shows how much higher budgets changes a company's perception, for sure. Well, like, game companies are generally ran more like businesses in the more traditional sense now, where a business is, not to sound distasteful on the topic, but a business is always looking to create the same type of product, but spend less money doing it. And obviously, that sounds, again, distasteful, but it also, from a business perspective, makes a lot of sense, because obviously you want to save as much money as possible, while also earning the most amount as possible. But the problem that comes with that is, like, the way that that's necessarily perceived from a money aspect doesn't correlate to a product aspect. Because, like, again, we're getting games that are based off of popular ideas, and that's pretty much the gimmick, is the idea itself.
There you are. I worried for you when the earth shook.
Yeah, hang on. Can I...
Flies like wasps.
Let me heal up, because I gotta fight this asshole now. I absolutely agree. Yeah, like, it's not necessarily the development teams, though. It's the people that hold the reins behind them. Like, I would argue that the people above them are a part of the problem. But it goes to show that the state of games aren't necessarily based on the games themselves,
You have been gone some
but the
time.
people who make the decisions.
Do you carry the splinter of Aethys?
Right, so, like, when we get Assassin's Creed Shadows this year, we're using Ubisoft as the example, because they have a game coming out soon.
Oh,
If Assassin's Creed Shadows does not measure up,
thorough in your explorations. Nevertheless,
if it shows more negative than it does positive,
I killed them.
you
Well,
can't get mad
that
at
is
the
a
dev
matter
team
of
directly.
semantics.
Like, they
Does
can,
death
like, yes, you
occur
can
the
to a
moment
point
the
because
heart
they made the
ceases
game.
beating, or when the soul is
But, like,
broken
they
upon the
worked with
wheel?
what they had to work with.
In one sense, then they are quite dead. In another, they remain very much alive. In either case, they have
Agreed, but you
entered
can force a
state of
hand,
change,
specifically since,
and the
especially since you're the lead
impetus
creators of
was
said
mine.
project. Right, but I also feel like there's something that we're not seeing there.
I am the only one left who can hold my Lord God to account.
Yeah, like,
You see,
but you are
I
right.
have
Like, the
given them the
devs could just be like, no,
opportunity to be
we're not
part of
making this because
something
this isn't
larger than
what we wanted
themselves.
to make, or like this isn't a good
Their
game.
essence is held
They could
safe
do that,
within my devices,
but like all that's gonna happen is
and
those
with
people would just
your
get
help,
moved,
I
and then
shall
somebody
give
else would
them
come
a
in with
new
far less of
commission
a soul and just make the
to
game anyway,
prosecute
or
the
even worse than what they
redemption
were trying to work
of a
with.
god.
Right? Like that's the necessary trade-off there. And like, yeah, you can spare yourself, but then you're out of a job and so on, and so many other things can happen, etc. So I could understand
You
why it happens.
understand me. What is the source
It
of
sucks.
all
It really
suffering?
does. But
Our
that's why, as
division
well, in this day and
from
age,
God. Not
that's why in
our
this day and
division
age, you
from
have
them,
to,
no, but
when a
their
game comes out or is
division
coming out
from
and you
us.
are interested and invested,
It is a wound
do your
the
research.
size of the
You
soul,
have to do your
yet it
research.
gapes as
Watch
large
every
as the
gameplay,
world.
watch every trailer,
If we
pay attention to
are
the
alleviate
development cycle.
suffering, if the
Compare
gods,
it to
if
other games of its
Aethys
like,
is to atone,
not to see if it's better, but to see if it even
we
measures up
must
to a
give
game
him
that is
a
good in that
mortal
field.
Consciousness. We must give him a mortal conscience, or the atrocities of the Dead Fire and the Saints' War will be but preludes to the horrors he will sow across Aora. Even the Redeemer needs redemption. Even the gods must be. Aethys must be
God, you click away for a second, and the audio stops.
Do you carry the relic I asked you to collect? Excellent. The relic you have retrieved was stolen from Aethys's body. He is bound to it, or it to him. And before the events at Ukaizo, he would speak to me through it. He speaks to me no longer, but I believe he resonates with the splinter yet, as I do. If I am correct, when it is placed in the statue, the magnifying power of the Ardra will draw him into it, and he will be trapped.
Absolutely. I very rarely pre-order.
Locked into the reliquary.
There are exceptions.
Furious souls
Like I am gonna pre-order Monster Hunter Wilds, 100%.
He will
Because I know that game is good. I've played it.
Of making right all the
It's a sequel in a long-running series that has constantly improved over time.
Is for you to place the splinter into the statue's chest. Will you do it?
Let's see. I think it's interesting that early access is now a paid way of getting people to upgrade now, though. Absolutely. Don't get me wrong. I paid $20 to play this game early. Right, and I've tried it over the last couple days for a couple hours here and there. And like it is on Game Pass and it will be free tomorrow. But like if anybody bought this on Steam or if they bought it just on console or something, I feel like it would still be a waste of money in a lot of ways. Yeah, I know, on Steam and stuff. Sorry, Avowed's probably offering it everywhere. Because, like, Space Marine did it, too. But, like, this game, I think I'd be upset if I paid full price for it. Right? Like, don't get me wrong, I can justify spending the $20 to play it early. For, you know, just 'cause. But, like, this does not feel like it would be worth the money for full price. And I played the game for a total of I think we're about to cross into 7 hours of me playing this game overall. And I think I can start to formulate like a genuine opinion on it now. It so far hasn't shown me anything that isn't worth more than $20. Right? Like that's the reality of that. For sure.
The gods may be too powerful, yes, but Aethys is weak.
But Monster Hunter, though?
He persists at all.
Monster Hunter is going to be so good.
By the time he reached Ukaizo, he was spent, and used the very last of his power to destroy the wheel. The god that is left is but a wisp of purpose, floating through the beyond. It is that wisp I will capture. Thank you. Once you have placed the splinter into the statue, power my devices just over there.
Yeah,
Together,
I'm fairly certain that's what this amounts to.
Climb up the scaffolding there.
Can I fight him?
And place the relic in the statue.
No. I don't. Hang on. Let me load the save. Right. Yeah, and like I'm still not saying it's not a bad game, but you can tell that the value that you'd want to pay for it is not here. At least not right now. And like 7-ish hours, it's gotten better and like I guess it has become more fun, but that doesn't necessarily equate to the value either. Because like I'm just doing the same thing still, but like it hasn't shown me anything that I'd want to pay full price for in a lot of ways. Like, God, what's the right way to describe this? sorry, going back to a previous point, it's it doesn't feel new in a lot of ways. It doesn't give you that excitement that it's a fresh experience. Oh, the console versions don't offer that? That's interesting. But yeah. Holy, this loading screen. I see. So it really was just Steam that got early access, eh? Or just PC players. That's... Holy, this loading screen. It should not be taking this long. Especially by now, I wouldn't doubt it. All right. I didn't realize what time it was either. I normally would stream for 3 hours, but I started an hour late today. But the stream is going to stop here. I'll be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, I see. Sorry. Get early access, but they need the copy. Or they need to buy the upgrade. I see. Yeah. If you do want to follow though, just so like you get the notification that I'm actually online at an appropriate time, I'd appreciate that. That always helps. But I do stream Monday to Saturday. Friday and Saturday I try to aim for longer streams on those days because it's the weekend. But Monday to Thursday, I always try to stream at least 3 hours before I go to work. So I'm fairly consistent. But yeah, if I'll be here tomorrow, same time, probably still play this game, give it more time, and yeah, same time tomorrow, I guess. Anyway, peace for now.